we have started chapter number 2, A Gift of Chappals. Part 1 is over. Let's start part 2. That is page number 22. Mridu kept up to the window. Lally was sitting a little distance away, awkwardly holding her violin and bowstring, her elbows jutting out her, and her eyes glazed with concentration. As Mridu and Ravi and Meena, they heard the voices coming from the window, so they went near the window. What they saw there, that Lally was sitting in front of the music master, and she was sitting awkwardly, right? She was holding her violin and her bowstring. Right? Bowstring means with what we play the violin, and her eyes glazed with concentration. With full concentration, she was playing violin. In front of her, with most of his back to the window, was the bony figure of the music master, and in front of nearby window, her music master with bony figure was sitting. Bony figure means slim, right? He had mostly bald head with a fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ear, and old-fashioned tuft. And this music master has bald hair, means यहाँ पे उसके बाल नहीं थे, and he has tied a tuft, right? And his hair were oiled, and it was falling from the neck side around his ears, and a gold chain gleamed around his leathery neck, and diamond ring glittered on his hand as it glided up and down upstream of the violin. And that bony figure music master, he was wearing gold necklace, right? Gold chain, that is, and he was wearing diamond ring. So when he was playing violin, that diamond ring was shining. A large foot stuck out from the beneath his gold-bordered vesty edge. See, vesty means dhoti. So his large leg, right, it was coming out from the dhoti, and the dhoti was golden bordered. And he has beneath, he was beating time on the floor with a scrawny big toe, and he was beating his leg, right, with the music. See, whenever any person who is playing any music, that person beat the toes. Same way, the music master was beating his toes. He played a few notes. Lally stumbled behind him on her violin, which looked quite helpless and unhappy in her hands. And music master, he played a lovely music, right? And Lally stumbled behind him on her violin. Stumbled behind him means followed unhaltingly. बिना रुके वो म्यूजिक मास्टर को फॉलो कर रही थी. And the violin looks unhappy in her hand. What a difference! Now see the difference of the music master notes seem to float up and settle perfectly into the invisible tracks of the melody. The difference is of music master's music and Lally is that music master was playing violin perfectly. Up and down he was going properly, means rag, alap, sur, alap, he was doing perfectly, right? And it was like the wheels of the train fitting smoothly into the rails and whizzing along. And as his music is compared with the rail tracks, right? So it means the trains are moving smoothly on the rail tracks. In this way, the music of the music master is compared that it is going on track, proper, that is, right? Mridu stared at the huge bearing hand moving effortlessly up the violin stem. Mridu stared at the huge bearing hand, means Mridu bearing hand means ring पहने हुए hand को देख रही थी, right? And their hands are moving effortlessly up the violin. Violin पूरी तरह मस्त बजा रहे थे. Means it was producing lovely music. Squack! There was Lally derailing again, and Lally, she was derailing unhaltingly. She was following music master. Amma came a wail from the gate. Amma, oh! And suddenly some voice, Amma, Amma, came from near the gate. Ravi, send that beggar away, cried his mother from the back veranda where she was chatting with Pati. Now what happened, as the voice Amma, Amma came, mother heard this voice as she was sitting with Pati, chatting with Tapi. So what she she shouted on Ravi, told that beggar to go from here. He has been coming here every day for the past week, and it's time he found another house to beg from, Pati explained to Tapi. As Amma was coming, right, Ravi's mother shouted that tell that beggar to go away from here. She was chatting with Tapi, and she told that this beggar is coming every day, so tell him to go away. Now, what Pati explained to Tapi, that this person is coming from the way. Now he should find some another house to beg. Mridu and Meena followed Ravi out. The beggar was already in the garden, making himself quite at home. He had spread his upper cloth under the neem tree and was leaning against its trunk, apparently prepared to take a little snooze. While he waited for the arms to appear. Go away, said Ravi sternly. My Pati says it's time you found another house to beg from. As Ravi was supposed to tell the beggar to go away from there, Mridu and Meena also followed him. And what they saw, the beggar was already in the garden under the tree. He spread his upper cloth and he was leaning against the tree trunk, right? And he was supposed to take a little snooze, means thoda so jana, right? Now what happened? That beggar was waiting for an alms. उसको ऐसा था कि उसको कोई कुछ दे देगा. Go away, said Ravi sternly. Now what Ravi said to that beggar, just go away from here. My Pati said that you must find some another house to beg. The beggar opened his eyes very wide and gazed at each of the children one by one. The ladies of this house, he said at last in a voice choked with feeling, are very kind souls. I have kept my body and soul together on their generosity for a whole week. Now as Ravi shouted, so that beggar gazed one by one to each child, and what he said, that these ladies of these houses are very kind. I have kept my soul and my body together from the last week. That means I am alive because of their generosity, right? From the last week, because of their kindness, because of their generosity, I am alive. I cannot believe that they would turn me away. And so what that beggar said, that I cannot believe that they will tell me to go from here. He raised his voice, Amma, oh Amma. Sad his wail might be, but it certainly wasn't feeble. It began in a deep, strong rumble somewhere where in his withered belly, and came out booming out of his mouth with its few remaining teeth strained round with bitter chewing. And he again started shouting, Amma, Amma, right? And his teeth, only few teeth remained there, and the teeth became brown as he was chewing bitter. And his voice became withered. Withered means उसकी पेट पूरा अंदर तक चला गया था. Right? Ravi tell him there is nothing left in the kitchen called Rukumani, and he is not to come again. Tell him that. She sounded fed up. Now Rukumani, she shouted like anything, and her voice was just like she was fed up. What she told to Ravi, she told that tell him to go away from here, right, and do not come again. Ravi didn't have to repeat it all to the beggar. What his mother said had been easy for them all to hear. There under the neem tree, the beggar sat up and said. As Rukumani, she shouted loudly. Ravi was not supposed to repeat her words, to tell the beggar just go from here. Everyone, those who are under the tree, can hear what she said, because she said very loudly. So the beggar was now sitting, and I will go, he said wearily. Only let me have a rest under the tree. And the sun is so hot, the tar has melted on the road. My feet are already blistered. He stretched out his feet to show large pink peeling blisters are the sole of his bare foot. So now what beggar said, that I will go from here, but please let me allow to take rest under this tree, because the sun is so hot, because the sun is so hot, and the road and the tar on the road is melted, and I have already blisters on my legs. And then beggar showed his blisters, his spring blisters, and which was peeling off, right? I suppose he doesn't have the money to buy chappals. Mridu whispered to Meena. Ravi, have you got an old pair in the house somewhere? Now Mridu said, as Mridu saw blisters on beggar's leg, she said, he must not have money to buy chappals. So Mridu asked to Ravi and Meena, that have you got an old pair of chappals in the house? I don't know, said Ravi. Mine are too small to fit his feet, or I had have given them to him, and his feet were larger than Mridu's and Meena's. So what Ravi said, that I don't know, either there is chappals in the house or not, and mine are too small. It will not fit to him, and even the beggar's legs are larger than Mridu and Meena's. The beggar was shaking out his upper clothes and tightening his dhoti. He raised his eyes and looked fearfully at the road, gleaming in the afternoon heat. Now, as beggar was supposed to get up, he put on his upper clothes and tightened his dhoti, and he was looking at the road. Fearfully, he was looking at the hot road. He needs something on his feet, Meena said, her big eyes filling. It's not fair. As the beggar was fearfully looking on the hot road, so at that time Meena said he needs some pair of chappals, right? Isn't fair. It's not fair, right? It means ये सही बात नहीं है, उसको चप्पल उसके पास होनी चाहिए. Said Ravi, I am not thinking about it, blubbering. It's not fair, it's not fair. Isn't not going to help. In 2 minutes he will be frying his feet on that road. And what Ravi said, yes, it's not fair to him. If we will not help him, right, wait for 2 minutes. And if within 2 minutes his bare feet will be fried on this hot road. What he needs is a pair of chappals. So where do we get them? Come, let's search the house. He pushed Mridu and Meena into the house. So now Ravi said only one pair of chappal he needed. So let's find out in the house, right? And he pushed Mridu and Meena into the house. Just as she stepped into the veranda, Mridu's eyes fell on the old-looking chappals she had noticed when she arrived. Ravi, she whispered to him, whose are those? See students, in the beginning of the chapter, we learned that when Mridu arranged her chappal, right, she arranged neatly her chappal, at that time she saw a shabby looking chappal, means shabby looking with dust, right, one large size chappals. Now as this time when she entered into the veranda, she looked at that chappal and she asked Ravi, who's these chappals, right? Ravi turned and glanced at the shabby looking but sturdy old slippers. He beamed and nodded. They are just the right size, he said. Right size, he said. Picking them up, Mridu and Meena followed him nervously back into the garden. And as Mridu asked whose these chappals are, Ravi saw that, and what he said that it's a perfect size, right? And he picked that chappals, and Mridu and Meena also followed him. Here Ravi said to the beggar, dropping the slippers in front of the old man, wear this and don't come back. The beggar stared at the slippers hurriedly, flung his towel over his shoulder, pushed his feet into them, and left muttering a blessing to the children. In a minute he had vanished around the corner of the street. And what happened? Now Ravi has given that slippers to the beggar, right? And what he said, just wear it and go from here, right? Never come back. The beggar stared at the sleeper and hurriedly he put on the sleepers and flung his towel on his shoulders and he left the place, and he muttered blessings on the children, right? He showered blessings on the children because children helped him, right? In a minute he had vanished into the corner of the street. The music master came. Now the real story is, right? The music master came out of the house and took an unappreciative look at the three of them sitting quietly under the tree playing marbles. Then he searched for his chappals in the veranda where he had put them. And as the lecture of music was over, music master came out from the room and unappreciatively he looked at the children, three children, Mridu, Meena and Ravi. They are sitting under the tree playing with marbles. And now music master wanted to put on his chappals. He was searching his chappals. Lalli, he called after a few moments. She hurried up to him. Have you seen my chappals, my dear? I remember having kept them here. And as he didn't get the chappals in the veranda, so he shouted, Lalli, Lalli, have you seen my chappals? I know very well that I have kept my chappals over here. Ravi, Mridu and Meena silently watched Lalli and the music master search every corner of the veranda. He scurried around, looking over the railing, crouching near the flower pots to look between them. Brand new they were. I went all the way to Mount Road to buy them. He went on saying, the cost a whole month's fees. Do you know? And now Mridu, Ravi and Meena, they were sitting silently and they were watching how Lalli and music master are searching for his chappals. And between the flower pots he was searching. Everywhere in the veranda they were searching chappals. And now he shouted that it's a brand new chappal. I went to Mount Road and from there I have purchased it. And do you know the cost of this chappals? It's a 1 month's fees. Means fees of your music, means the cost of the chappal is 1 month's fees which they are paying to music master. So what he said, the chappal was brand new and the cost was 1 month's fee. Soon Lalli went in to tell her mother. Rukumani appeared looking harassed with Pati following her. Where could they be? It's really quite upsetting to think someone might have stolen them. So many vendors come to the door, worried Pati. And as Lalli and music master didn't find the chappal, so Lalli went to inform her mother. And her mother, Rukumani, appeared and she was looking harassed by Pati, right? Now Pati was asking where they could be, right? Many vendors are coming, so it is upsetting how one can steal the chappals.
Aabhar.